All right, here we are.
Here we go.
Season 2 of In Our Prime with our special friend of both of ours now, Craig Siegel.
Craig Siegel is a value-based and high-energy keynote speaker, performance coach, entrepreneur, online brand explorer, master elevator, record-breaking podcast host, and rising thought leader. When the pandemic happened, Craig left his lucrative and stable Wall Street job, followed his passion, helped people revamp their mindset and their full potential. Craig's unique combination of energy, motivation, inspiration, and charisma has impacted millions of lives worldwide.
All right. Welcome, Craig. I am so excited to have you here. How are you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal. I'm so excited to be here. What an honor. Every time you and I get together, we just have a ton of fun and we drop an abundance of nuggets and gems. So I'm jazzed. I'm super excited and I'm grateful to be here with you.
Thank you so much. I love that. I'm super humbled. And so this is the first time you've ever met my husband because you and I have collabed a lot. And so I'm trying to get him on board with this like mindset of just good vibes and positive energy.
Yeah. I love it. It's a great place to be and working on ourselves and continuously growing and evolving. That's what life's all about. So kudos to you for getting him involved. And it looks like he's enjoying the journey so far.
Oh, yeah. Nice little trip.
Craig, so you and I know each other. We've only met virtually. We've never met in person, but that's going to change very soon. Yes. And so you have accomplished so much. I read your bio to everyone to introduce you, and it is just absolutely incredible. So tell me about your journey. How did you get here?
Yeah. So I think what's most important is to talk about what I've done recently, because essentially it took me 35 years to find myself. A little over a year ago, I was on Wall Street for the last 10 years and I was making some money. I was doing my thing. But what I discovered was that making money doesn't necessarily equal success. And the truth of the matter is I had been miserable for quite a long time. I couldn't put my finger on it, but there was something missing. And Wall Street stopped becoming fun and it started becoming stressful and unpredictable. And I just didn't like who I was. I didn't like the path I was going down. And I had always felt guided, like I was meant to be here for a purpose, to do something of significance, to make an impact. I just wasn't able to identify it. So I started running a bunch of marathons, which was cool. I'd never been a runner, but ultimately I was just looking for an outlet. I was looking for an arena or a coliseum to be a gladiator in. I wasn't going to be a professional runner, although I'm super grateful that I did find running because it's a part of me today. Just ran the New York City Marathon a couple months back.
Attaboy.
But ultimately, thank you guys. Let's fast forward to the pandemic. Pandemic happens. I shut down my office for what I thought would be 2 weeks back last March, 2020. And I just had a sense of urgency. I saw a lot of people doing a lot of Netflix and a lot of day drinking. I said, that's not going to be me. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, straight up. And I felt guided, like I said earlier, but I had this spiritual moment where I said, this is the first time where I can actually ground myself and ask myself those tough questions. Am I really happy? And I had to get really deep and vulnerable. The truth of the matter is I was straight up miserable. And so from studying personal development for the last 10 years, in case you couldn't tell, I'm obsessed with this stuff, removing limiting beliefs, quantum, law of attraction, all that stuff. I had a strategy. I basically just asked myself two things. Number one, what are my gifts? And number two, what are my passions? My gifts are, I'm a very effective communicator. I have an ability to elevate people's states to get them excited. When it came to my passion, that one was simple, personal development. Like I said, I'm obsessed with this stuff. I can't get enough of it. So I married those two, my ability to communicate and my love for personal development. And if you're going to think, you might as well think big. So I put together a huge strategy and a vision. And I started my CLS brand, Cultivate Lasting Symphony, or a play on my initial CLS, Craig Landon Siegel. And I went to work and I set up a bunch of lanes in a 10-lane highway, so to speak. One being the podcast, which we just hit 1 million downloads, secured a sponsorship with Mark Cuban. We just had on Ed Milet and Rob Deerdyke and so forth. And then masterminds, coaching, my CLS membership. And obviously what I'm really excited about right now is keynote speaking and speaking in front of live audiences. And make a long story short, I'm very humbled to say the brand's exploded over the last year. And to tie this all together, what I learned is when you find what you're really aligned to and you do a really good job, ironically enough, the money follows you. So now I'm making more money than I ever made on Wall Street. I'm completely out of that. And this is it for me in some capacity for the rest of my life. And I like to say we're just getting warmed up.
Nice.
I love it. Do you understand why I invited him?
Yeah, I see it. I get it. Yep.
I feel like it's so incredible and empowering to talk to you. And I feel that you are 100% are correct. You are the most effective communicator I've ever had the pleasure of speaking with. I love just your energy and your presence. And I think it's needed, right? Like, I feel like you said, people were sitting down and watching Netflix. Now, mind you, I love Bridgerton. Let me tell you something. I love that show. But you couldn't just day drink and watch that every single day. You needed something to kind of cultivate and create. So for our listeners that are new, what's one or two things that you've kind of learned about people that you truly feel they need to know? Like, what are one or two pieces of advice that you can get or give to people so that they can kind of start this journey of bettering themselves?
Yeah, great question. I think that my story over the last year or a little bit more, it symbolizes hope, progress, transformation, and the very misconception that change takes very long, because in fact it doesn't. It takes a split second that you commit and you say to yourself, I know I'm meant for more, and you commit to making the necessary changes and revamping your mindset and understanding that you are worthy. I think a lot of people out there suffer from imposter syndrome. They feel unworthy to tackle big adventures or exciting projects or a new life, a new career, a new relationship. A lot of people are stuck. And the reason why I speak about this with such empathy is because that was me for 10 years, even more really, but just specifically in regards to my career, I was stuck, even in a relationship too. I was like, was this it for me? And even though I always felt guided, and the biggest lesson that I like to learn, and what I spoke about on stage this weekend, was that you can reinvent yourself at any time. The 3 R's that I like to say: you can redesign your mindset, you can re-energize your passions, and you can reinvent yourself to this world. And I did that in a pretty short amount of time. And it all came down to this. I didn't exactly know how it would play out to start CLS. And it's funny because people always say, weren't you scared to take a shot at a whole new arena? You know, you have no social media presence, no connections, nothing. The answer is, I was petrified to go back and do something that I felt absolutely miserable and stuck doing. And I made that very real for myself. And so taking a shot at maybe the unknown to me was nothing but pleasure. And I realized that it might not work 100%, but I'll dust myself off, I'll figure it out, and I'll cultivate lessons and move forward. So what I want to land the plane with is everyone that's feeling stuck out there, or kind of feeling like the walls are caving in, or you're not where you thought you'd be, you can change in an instant, the very moment that you decide that you are worthy to live the life you desire.
I love it. I feel so ready to take on the world right now.
That's true. Yeah. So were you in New York, born and raised?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell. Not at all. Not at all by the way you talk. Nah.
The accent was not a good dead giveaway,
Yeah,
right? I was born in Long Island, and I've been in Manhattan ever since,
Okay.
with the exception of college when I was in Connecticut.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So the CLS, you said, is a pun on your initials, or, variation from. So why symphony? You could pick any S word. What's with this? Why symphony? Let
me just come out and say this. I'm really strange and weird.
Hey, you're
for me
talking to the crowd here.
Preaching
to the choir.
That's why we get along so well, because you guys are authentic, and it's definitely the reason why I connected with Priscilla right out the gate. In regards to symphony, I just always had a thing for the word. When I think of the word symphony, I think of like in orchestra, like all playing together in tempo, like in a movement, so to speak. And when I started my brand, I didn't want it to be some like inspirational, like Rocky movie that you watch and you go to the gym for 2 weeks and then you're done. I wanted it to last forever, like really change your mindset. And symphony just always stuck out to me. It was something I was drawn to. And because I'm weird and trained and hopefully authentic, I just went with it.
Like it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's right on brand. I love it. So
you.
you have so much going on, and I love to see it. I follow you, and I'm inspired by you every single day. But I'm going to flip the tables just a little bit because I'm a public speaker. I love interacting with people. I love communicating. I have such a passion for motivating others. And there are some people that have come across my path who I don't agree with. And they're motivational speakers or they're coaches and all this. And they're giving certain advice that I don't align with. Has there ever been something that you've heard lately that you don't agree with, that you're like, I don't think it's a really smart tactic to take?
Sure. A couple things that come to mind. Number one is be realistic. I don't think anyone should be realistic. I think being realistic is actually being pessimistic, if I'm being honest. I think you should always be optimistic and shoot for the stars. And that's the only way you'll be able to really make a dent in the universe and achieve something iconic and epic. Because by being realistic, you're setting a self-imposed limitation on what you can really achieve.
Or what other people have achieved.
Right.
You could be going to 100 and these other people only have the mentality of 50.
That's right. Yeah. If I was realistic, I would never started CLS. I would have never got Ed Milet and Rob Dyrdek on the podcast in the first year. I would never been on stages with John Maxwell and Jesse Itzler this weekend. So you got to think big. And I don't believe in being realistic. And it's fine for some people that want to stay in a certain parameter, so to speak. But I know you, Priscilla, I know you think very big, and that's why you've had a tremendous amount of success. And now you're pivoting and doing something else with a tremendous amount of success because you think big. And I think that nobody should tell anybody to be realistic. I think that people should always preach optimism, especially like for young kids coming up when they're a sponge, so to speak, and they really gravitate to what older people say to them or mentorship. I would encourage everybody to suggest to kids or really to anyone to be super optimistic.
And I think it's a great life lesson, like you said, especially for kids. And it's something that people have always told me is like a trademark for me, is that from 1 + 1 = unicorns. That's my kind of math. And people never understood it, but I'm like, you have to understand, I don't want to be kept in this box. I want to be able to do things that less than 1% of the world are doing or nobody's doing. And so I love that. And I definitely agree. I 100% agree. Mm-hmm. I'm not a realistic person. My husband agrees. I know he does.
Yeah.
Definitely not realistic. It's 2022. We're all switching gears at this point. We're all working really hard to get optimistic and look towards the future and a brighter day. What are your plans for 2022?
So this is an interesting question, because for the first time in my life, guys, like when I was coming towards New Year's Eve about a month ago, it was the first time that I can remember, because I always like to journal. I'm a big journaler, but specifically as we get closer to year's end, to reflect and also to manifest. It was the first time in my life that I didn't want to make some big drastic changes, because, and I say very humbly, I'm in such a good frequency right now, and so many things are going great, and I feel very blessed and grateful and humble that the one word to what I would like to achieve in 2022 is more of the podcast, more of the speaking, more of the coaching, more of the making an impact, contributing to this world, helping people. The testimonies come in every single day of a piece of content that somebody saw, or a podcast that I did and somebody heard, and they changed their life and they changed their perception, they changed their perspective. And that's what it's all about. I just want to continue to make a bigger and bigger impact and contribute. And a lot of things are going really, really well. So I just want more of that and to stay at high, vibrating at this high level. I know that's not the sexiest answer, but when you get into a really good place, which by the way, it seems like you're in right now too, when you're in that place and you're vibrating on that level, you just want to continue it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, your energy is off the charts.
Right? I love him. I literally just want to talk to him every day and be like, okay, like,
dude, to walk in Red Bull.
Right? Like, we should just like have a morning little, like 60-second, let Craig and Priscilla start your day.
Right. Thinking about changing my alarm when I wake up in the morning. Just like, instead of daily Bible verses, it's just you with a motivation. 30 seconds. Get up, conquer the day, kick ass.
You,
yep. That might have to be your next thing.
Yep. Yeah, small
I
finder's
love
fee.
it.
That's all.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. No problem. So is there anyone you've worked with that surprised you for the better? Like a guy or girl, and you're like, oh man, I didn't think they were that awesome.
You mean like celebrities?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Um,
I don't want to go negative,
Someone-
so we'll keep it positive.
Someone that I interviewed on my podcast that I didn't know much about because she was from a different generation than me, so to speak, but I had the best conversation with her and the episode broke records. And I just thought she was so cool and fascinating and really inspiring, was the iconic Suzanne Summers.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah.
feel like she's awesome. See, I would definitely expect her to have so many stories
Oh,
and such a different perspective on life. I could definitely see that being one.
You think I have energy? I believe she's in her either low to mid 70s, the inventor of the Thigh Master, and she's on fire. Like,
still crushing it.
With it, it's crushing it. Massive understatement, just so with it and on fire, and so many life lessons that are applicable. And I didn't know so much about her, but I'm super grateful that we became friends. And if you guys haven't checked out that episode, you should. And just a beacon of inspiration. And she surprised me, I guess, to the upside, because I didn't know too much about her.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've seen, you have to look at one of his posts. He has like a little pyramid of like all the people that he's interviewed. And I'm a little peanut butter and jelly, but are
you at the bottom of the pyramid?
I didn't even make the pyramid.
You didn't make it. You're
I
floating outside.
That was for the podcast. You haven't been on that yet, Priscilla.
You're right. Okay. It's fine. It's okay. I took no offense to it. These people that were on the podcast, I was like, Lord, this is amazing. But yes, I mean, it's amazing to talk to you. And I thank you so much for your time. I want everyone, if you're listening or watching, to please go follow Craig. How is the best way, or many of the ways that they can follow you, Craig?
I think the best way is to come say hello on Instagram at Craig Siegel _CLS. Check out our website, cultivatelastingsymphony.com, has all the content, how you can work with me, and so to speak, and anywhere you listen to podcasts, the CLS experience. We just started a book club, which is super fun and cool.
Awesome. It's
totally free. We just all get together and read an inspirational book, and we're going to get the authors in there. The CLS membership. And then if you like daily inspiration, join our free texting community. Just text the number 917-634-3796. You get a little bit more of this energy on a daily basis.
There it is.
Yes.
That's the morning alarm I need.
Well, I'm definitely going to put all of your information on the YouTube page. Craig, thank you so much. I am always blown away by you. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your commitment to bettering everyone else's lives, including you. Because I know that a lot of people think that when you are a public speaker and you do a lot of motivation, that it's just, we're just born with it. But I know you work at this, you live this, and you breathe this. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And it's a humbling thing to see. And I wish you nothing but success for 2022 and forever. And if anything that you need, you let us know.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful for the friendship, and I know it's just beginning. And I just want to let you know, I acknowledge you. Like, I'm super proud of you. I know you're stepping into a new arena right now, and pivoting a little bit, and you're so enthusiastic and passionate about it. And I have no doubt that you're gonna have such an abundance of success. And I'm just proud of you. And straight up, doing life with you is more fun. So thank you for being you.
Thank you. See you guys. I love him. I love him so much.
And Kenny, it was so great to meet you too.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.